All right, we're just waiting on everybody to come on in. All right, if you're on, let me know you're here. Let me know you're here. Yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do this tonight. We're going to talk about something that's very important. Very important. All right, Mr. DJ, glad to have you. Glad to have you. Go ahead and start that watch party or whatever it is. Let's get some more people on here. We got something really important that we need to talk and share with the people. Yeah. Now we're gonna get started in a minute. Just try to get some more people to come on. So go ahead and hit your friends up. You know, share this, start a watch party, however y'all do it. Y'all know what y'all do for this. Yeah. All right. Glad to have you, Mr. Glasgow's. Glad to have you. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Gibbons. Yes, sir. We're going to do what we can. We're going to share with you what the Lord has placed on our heart tonight. Yeah. It's coming. It's coming. Yeah. It's a nice little joint by the collectives. Y'all going to be hearing more about them in the future. Yes, we are free. We're definitely free. And I was once one of those who used to be blind, but now I see, and I just thank God for that. But listen, I just thank God for all of you, and glad that you was able to join in. Of course, we didn't come to preach to you or anything of that nature, but we just come to share some truth with you. And our desire, I've been kind of just pondering and praying about a name to call this Facebook chat or this Facebook Live, and what kind of dropped in my spirit was Truth Revolution. So we want to talk about that because that's what we want to be about. Just talking about the truth. Let's share it with you. Hopefully they can bless you, bless your family in whatever way, or let's say even open up your eyes, open up your understanding to a matter that may be taking place in your life. So I had asked the question, does Black Lives Matter support fatherhood? Okay. And I really would like to rephrase that question and ask, is Black Lives Matter against fatherhood? Yeah. Okay, but before I answer that, before I give you my answer to that question, you know, what I want to do, I want to share a story with you. And one day I was in the music store, and just as I was about to leave, a young man walked in, and I noticed that, you know, he had on all of the Black Lives Matter apparel. You know, he had on the bandana, the face mask, and the T-shirt, and it all said Black Lives Matter. So, you know, I said to myself, I said, you know what, I have to engage. You know, I want to engage in the mind of this young man just to see if he understood what it was that he was promoting. So I hung around a little while in the store, a little long in the store, just waiting on an opportunity where it's that I can approach him, and of course, how. Soon the opportunity did come. And after introducing myself, you know, I asked him the question. And it was a simple question, at least that's what I thought. So I said to him, I said, I see you have on Black Lives Matter apparel. And so I suppose you support them. And I'm interested in knowing your reason why. And his response was, because Black lives do matter. Now, to tell you the truth, I should have predicted that that would be his answer, because I don't know about you, but I find that it to be a typical answer that's given by most people when you question them of their support for Black Lives Matter. Now, of course, yes, not only does Black Lives Matter, but all lives do matter. So again, I proceeded to engage in the conversation with him more. And I asked him, I said, well, have you been to their website? And he shared with me, he said to me, his response was, no, I haven't, I didn't even know they had a website. So what I did, I encouraged him, I said, well, listen, go check out their website, you know, and see what you can find out and see if you still choose to support them once you come with, you know, your understanding, you know. But I told him, I said, for me, before I, you know, always do my research on any entity before I connect my name to it, because I want to verify the beliefs of the entity. And I want to make sure that once I attach my name to it, that I'm not supporting something that I don't agree with. So what he did, he asked me, he said, well, listen, can you share with me what the website says? You know, but again, I urged him, look, just go do your own research. You know, that way you can draw your own conclusion, your own interpretation as to whether or not you want to choose to continue to support this movement. You know, okay, so he said that he would, and, you know, we said our goodbyes, and he went on his way. And, you know, the funny thing is that I've crossed the path of so many people who, just like this young man, who support a cause based on a perception instead of an actual fact. Okay, so we want to deal with facts tonight. That's what we're gonna deal with. Okay, now what surprised me as well when I inquire about, you know, with individuals about Black Lives Matter, you know, their lack of knowing that Black Lives Matter have a website, which they do. Now, let's be honest. Of course, there's no doubt that the phrase Black Lives Matter, you know, it became a very lucrative narrative in the mouths of so many people. You know, it's easy to say Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. You hear that so much. And again, you know, Black lives do matter. But Black Lives Matter, because as we see it, or as it has been presented, also became a symbol of a particular cause for Black people, such as social injustice and inequality, and also police brutality against African Americans, or you want to say Black people, however you want to put it. But nevertheless, you know, all of that sounds good and all of that sounds just, and it's okay. But for me, on the surface, everything looked at okay. Everything looked at okay. Okay. But underneath, something just didn't seem right in my spirit. And of course, you know, being a Christian, 1 John 4:1 tell us that we not to believe every spirit, but instead test the spirit and to see whether it is from God. So, you know, again, for whatever reason, I could not connect myself to the narrative until I search it out and to see whether or not, again, its beliefs line up with my spiritual and moral beliefs. Okay, well, there's no question about it. My spirit was correct about Black Lives Matter, for the very simple reason when I found out that the narrative of the movement on the surface was totally different than its true belief. Okay, but let's get into that. Let's talk about the website. Okay, so this is what I found out about Black Lives Matter. Now, when you go to their website and in their about page, okay, so once you go in the about page, then what you do, you don't click on about button, but you go to what we believe button and you click that button. And so you begin to read, and so after all of the flattery in the first couple of paragraphs, this is what I found. Now, I can't read everything to you, but what I did, I went through it and I pulled out certain phrases and sentences, and what I did, I bullet pointed them. Okay, so let me share these bullet points with you. First thing it says that we affirm the lives of Black, queer, and trans folks. Okay, it also says that we see ourselves as part of the global Black family. Now, I want you to put a pin on that right there, okay, because we're going to come back to that. It also says that we are guided by the fact that all Black lives matter, regardless of actual or perceived sexual identity, gender identity, or gender expression, okay? It goes on to say that we make space for transgender brothers and sisters to participate and lead. They make space for transgender brothers and sisters to participate and lead, okay? I'm only sharing with you what's in their website, okay? So it's public document, all right? It also says that we are self-reflective and do the work required to dismantle gender privilege and uplift Black trans folks. It goes on to say that we build a space that affirms Black women and is free from sexism, misogyny, and environments in which men are centered. I wonder what they were talking about when they say that. It says that we dismantle the patriarch practice that requires mothers to work double shifts so that they can mother in private, even as they participate in public justice work. It goes on to say that we disrupt, listen now, we disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure. They disrupt, got to read it again, the Western prescribed nuclear family structure. Last bullet point, it says that we foster a queer affirming network. When we gather, we do so with the intentions of freeing ourselves from the tight grip of heteronormative thinking. And what that means, if I could put it in my own words, meaning the norm is that men like women and women liking men. Or rather, the belief that all in the world are heterosexuals unless she, he, or they disclose otherwise. Now, this is what I got to say today. First thing I want to address, the words Black, queer, and transgender to the co-founders of Black Lives America. Public record, which is Alicia Garza, Patrice Collars, please forgive me for mispronouncing the names, and Opal Tomete. I would encourage you all to please read Deuteronomy 22:5 and Leviticus 18:22 to 23. I digress right there, okay? Let me move on. Now, as far as the other language that's in this page, okay? What I noticed, and I looked again thoroughly today because I want to make sure I wasn't missing anything and that I wasn't just casting some false narrative that wasn't true. Now, if you find it, please put it in the comment. Let me know. I would gladly correct myself or whatever. Okay. So, but as far as it's concerned, what it says there, what I noticed that it didn't mention anything about fathers or directly anything about men other than undoing the environments where men are centered. Okay. Well, I do have my own thoughts of what they mean by that, but if I was to share them, I would really only be speculating because I haven't talked to anyone of them. So I don't want to speculate, but I do want to deal with the truth. I do want to deal with the facts, okay? So also they stated that they are for the global black family. But in another paragraph, they state their plan to disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure. You're for the black family, but you want to disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure? So what do you mean by you want to, I guess the question is then, what is the structure of a family? Is it what we know it to be today, consists of a father, mother, and children? Or are you referring to something else? I don't know. But apparently, it's not the structure of a family that I know it is and what you know it is. What's their agenda by that? Okay? So my question is this, okay, because I'm about done. Does Black Lives Matter support fatherhood? And I personally would have to, after my own observation and interpretation, have to say no, they don't. They don't father. They don't support fathers. They don't support fatherhood. Okay? So, but this is what I got to say to Black Lives Matter. That fathers are essential to a sound family structure. You can look around and see what's happening with our young children. Okay, again, but that's another subject, another message. But I want to just stick to Black Lives Matter and either their support for fathers or against fathers in fatherhood. But Black Lives Matter, again, I say that fathers are essential to a sound family structure. They're important. And I would also add that heterosexual men are essential to life, period. Okay? Because, listen, it's real simple. I guess y'all like to use science. Well, check out this science. Without the semen of men, an embryo cannot conceive life. It can't do it. But yet still we want to do away with fathers. We want to do away with men. But nevertheless, listen, so look, there's one more thing I want to say here to Black Lives Matter. To exclude, to exempt, or to denounce fathers from the nuclear family structure. Now, this is me talking. Now, this is how I felt about it when I saw it. I felt that it's the same as removing God from his sovereignty as father to all believers of God. Isaiah 64:8 says, he says that, "O Lord, you are our Father. We are the clay, and you are the potter. And we all are the work of your hands." Malachi 2:10, it says, "Have we not all one Father? Has not God created us all?" So there's no way, Black Lives Matter, that I can support you. There's no way that I will wear anything that mentions or even advertises Black Lives Matter. For me to do that is the same as me saying I support an ideology that violates the purpose and principles of fathers and fatherhood. And I don't. So listen, thank you. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Fields. I got one question. I said I wasn't going to be long. For everyone who see this video, after hearing what you've heard tonight, and I encourage you, listen, go to the website. See for yourself. Okay? But I ask the question, after hearing what you're saying, even if you do your own research, would you continue to support Black Lives Matter, knowing that their main goal is to dismantle the family structure as God designed it? Ask yourself that question. And I also want to say one more thing. This is what we need to do, people of color. And this is what I encourage all of us to do. Okay? We really need to search things out before we connect. We need to be very careful, or I would encourage us to be very careful of every narrative that comes through and sounds good and thinks that it's from God, or we think that it has a good cause, a good purpose. Because guess what? It don't. We need to do what the Word of God says. We need to follow it itself. Okay? That way we can remain free. Even though our bodies is free, our minds can be free as well. Check your narrative before you attach your name to it. Okay? But what we're going to do next week, we're going to talk about that all fathers matter. All fathers matter, and they do. Okay? So, again, please like the video, comment if you agree or disagree. Let me know if you think that I'm onto something, or maybe I'm incorrect. I'm sure that somebody going to respond one way or the other, but that's okay. Because I believe in what I'm saying, I believe in what I'm doing. But somebody, just as Black Lives Matter have people to be a voice for them, I choose to be a voice for God and for the kingdom. And I want you, as well as I, to do it for the kingdom. Okay? So like, comment, share this video. We out. See you next week. Same time, 7:30.